left off last time, Yara had been safely delivered to Portland, Oregon. Now for the boat projects to begin.
We're going to work on some propane projects today. Check out this toolkit that was left here by the previous owner. Made in West Germany. You don't see West Germany very often.
Why not?
Because it doesn't exist anymore, babe.
Oh. Shoot. Man.
Geometry was never your best subject.
Yep. Yeah. No.
So let's see what's inside. I don't think this hammer's original because it doesn't fit. Sailor's knife.
What is this? Looks like some kind of shackle.
You put it on the end of your wrench to get around tight spaces.
Oh.
It swivels.
What's this?
That looks to be maybe some type of electrical tester. Oh, no, tape measure.
Oh.
2 meters.
What is...
Bullets.
It's got some bullets.
This must be an electrical tester. 6 to 24 volt.
Is this like butyl tape? Sealing tape?
No, that's Teflon tape for pipe threads.
Oh.
Definitely not original.
But it fits in there like it's original.
Yeah.
Nope, maybe not. Spoke too soon. The treasures that you get. What is that?
West Germany. Vice grips.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty neat. Got our pigtail, which is not the quick connect style. So we're going to be changing that. We have a regulator. Has some corrosion on it. Not too bad. Solenoid switch. Solenoid valve. And then some T connections and runs into the boat. And no vapor tight bulkhead hole. So that's not a BYC compliant. That definitely is not salvageable, and these are relatively cheap in comparison to the important purpose that they provide. So we're just going to replace that as well, and all new hoses. First, it's got to come out. So that was just being held on by these two zip ties, and then it dropped to the ground pretty heavy. So yeah, it was pretty heavy when I undid that. It dropped pretty fast. So it'd be interesting to see where it enters this bulkhead here, or the compartment, not really a bulkhead, the compartment. What kind of chafe is on the bottom of these two hoses. We'll pull those out and we'll give it a look. But now we will start pulling this stuff apart. So the regulator and the solenoid valve also came off finger tight. So, and look at this. Valve for automotive use only. 312 psi, the max. I mean, that's good, but because it's on the low side of the regulator. but you can see why it's all corroded. I mean, none of these are really going to be marine grade, but for automotive use only, we'll sketch. And then the regulator, it looks odd in the sense that why is this screw here black? These two are stainless. This one doesn't look stainless. It's like someone tried to repair that, take it apart, put it back together. I don't know. And I also don't see an overpressure relief valve or relief hole, unless that's this. But usually you see them on the bottom. Like down here, like where this is. You usually see the relief valve right there, not on the top. So I don't know if that is designed to ABYC standards either, but it's getting replaced. We might be able to save some of these fittings depending on their condition. So I might just take this apart and see what we can save. So we're doing this in the name of safety. Propane on a boat can be explosive, but in order to be extra safe, I am being extra unsafe. Basically sitting here on the swim platform, sugar scoop, up on the hard with nothing but concrete below. Anyway, I couldn't get these free, so I just ended up cutting the hoses. We're not going to reuse the hose, so don't mind cutting it. There they are now. Okay. Context.
Okay.
Swim, step, propane locker, pass through, helm seat flips up. Then we have a lazarette. And inside the lazarette is the box that holds the propane. The hoses from the propane storage locker run out of the port side of it over here. We're facing aft right now. Okay, so I labeled these a couple days ago, the last time we were here. So this is the one that goes to the hot water heater and the head. And this is a good example of why ABYC standards say you need chafe protection when it goes through a bulkhead or the locker itself. There it is. That is where it entered the propane locker before it ran to the boat, the rest of the boat, did the run to the boat. So that would have failed eventually and given us a leak. So here's the galley one. Not as deep of a chafe or sharp of a chafe, but still chafe. You can see how it's kind of even shiny right there because it's just been rubbing. Oh, there's a little bit of a chafe mark right there. Yeah. So that's why you have, here, I'll show you guys. Under the West Germany tool set here, we've got boat bling from Fisheries. And that's a big thank you to Onboard Lifestyle for turning us on to Fisheries, local shop up in Seattle. Good source of marine parts and things like that. But this is the, here, let's get I open this one. This is what needs to go, or something like this. ABYC doesn't say specifically you have to use this. They say you can use like some type of sealant at where a propane hose enters the bulkhead. But we chose these, and how they work is your propane hose goes in there. You clamp this down, and it tightens down around this gray rubber gasket here to give you a nice seal around your hose. And then this part here sandwiches between your bulkhead, and the hose runs through there. So anytime a propane hose goes through a bulkhead or out of the locker, some sort of divider wall, this goes in and the hose runs through. So here I am. I was expecting the propane hose that goes to the hot water heater in the shower to come through in the quarter cabin somewhere. It's not down here. It's not under there. I haven't checked in there, or there yet. Let's do that first. I found where the propane line goes. See it right there with the zip ties. But in order to get that, I have to pull this panel down. But in order to pull this panel down, I need to get to this screw. But in order to get to that screw, I have to take this scupper drain off. In order to get the scupper drain off, I have to take this bookshelf off. So, this is why boat work takes 4 times as long and costs 3 times as much as you think, because it's a Lego set. Okay, so I pulled off that panel, and this is interesting. It's our deck hole joint, and it's still sticky and malleable, kind of wet. I mean, not wet, just it feels good. And all that goo up in there, it's the deck hole joint. And honestly, it feels pretty good. So now with the panel off, we can see our propane line. This tube here is where the man overboard pole runs into. And so out there, you're on deck, the back end of the pole sticks out so you can grab it and throw it over. So that's kind of a nice detail. So I keep saying per ABYC standards, I'm not a professional, and my goal isn't to have this boat to ABYC standard. That's not the goal. It's a guiding best practices for us, and we'll do what we can to maintain those standards and reach those standards. But for an old boat refit, it's probably not realistic. So, but stuff like this is easy to do. So it says in the standard, you can't have any connections inside the cabin unless the connection is to the appliance itself. Or in the case of a gimbaled stove, you can have 2 connections, one from the hose and then a flexible connection and hose to the appliance. But in this case, this is not up to standard, because all we're doing here is connecting 2 pieces of propane hose inside the quarter cabin. What we were supposed to do is have one continuous line from the source to the destination, and that is not this. So we are doing the right thing by pulling this out. Look at the backing plate for something. I don't know what, but through bolted. And then look at right here. This is the propane hose. This bolt and hose are touching each other. Another problem for chafe where those two were touching. So that's not good. Let's get this out of here. All right. Pro tip. When you're painting your bottom,
After done sanding,
after you're sanding,
paint for your jack stands.
paint where your jack stands will end up. So they're all pre-ready to go.
And then they'll move it.
Yeah, so the idea is they're gonna paint everything else, right? But they can't get under here. So they're gonna move the jack stand here that's already done and painted and dry and paint that.
Geniuses.
Pro tip.
Pro tip. Pro tip.
So we show up to the boat today, and normally we would have a ladder that the boatyard chains to the boat stand. We don't have a ladder today. We looked around the yard, tried to find a different ladder, and they're all locked up and we don't have the combination. So why does boat work take 4 times as long as 6 times as expensive? Stuff like this. But we did see a cool boat. What are we doing today?
Boat work!
Good job.
So today we are doing our propane system. Still, you know, the saga, right?
Still.
Every system takes whatever, forever. Boat work, right?
Boat
what is it? Twice as long and something
16
expensive.
times as expensive.
Yeah, add some zeros on there.
40 times as long.
Yeah, it's intense. So
Nobody really knows.
Nobody really knows. It just takes forever. So we're hopeful today. We've had a lot of like, we can't do it, psych outs.
Well, part of it is not our fault.
Well, yeah.
It's okay, it could be our fault. But
I mean, we are new to this.
we expected a ladder at the boatyard
Yeah.
to be available for us.
And so twice now. We've been there.
We've been there and they haven't left out a ladder.
Yeah.
So if you hear something rattling around in the back of the car, that is a ladder that we are bringing.
Yeah, we're bringing our own ladder.
Yes.
It's like BYOL. That took a lot of time for me to really suss that one out. So we're gonna work. Our goal today is to fiberglass the holes that we're not using and just get everything to look nice and clean the way we want it to look.
Where?
On all the bulkheads. So we're gonna do it in the propane locker. We have fiberglass work to do. And then also on the bulkhead that goes in the lazarette, the bulkhead that faces the galley, that also needs, right? No? That's not right?
We don't know about that yet.
Oh, we don't know about that
Yeah.
yet? We might reuse that, you think?
I think that's just wood. I mean, we can fiberglass on wood, but...
If it's wood, we would just patch it with wood?
No.
I don't know. Sorry, I thought I knew all the things. Clearly I don't.
We just don't know what the bulkhead is between the lazarette and the galley.
Yeah,
I don't
if
know
it's
if it's wood
fiberglass.
or fiberglass. I don't know if there's holes there that we do have to patch. The only thing that we have to make sure that is vapor tight, well, ours is a little bit different. So because the propane hatch is opening to the aft of the boat, it might be debatable on whether the actual propane locker has to be propane tight. but the hatch. But we still need to patch the holes.
Yeah.
Because the holes to the propane locker go into, like, where the steering quadrant is. It goes into one of the lazarettes. It goes into the space behind the quarter berth. So we do want to make sure that itself is vapor tight.
And get that first. So that's where we're going to start, all right? We're going to start the fiberglass work in there, and then we'll investigate the bulkhead and figure out what the issue is there or what. But basically the idea is to go in and to patch any holes that we're no longer going to use because we've switched out new piping for the propane. What is it called? Tubing?
Pipe works.
Whatever. We've replaced that. We got all new of that. So because of that, we also want to make sure it has like chafe protectors and stuff like that it didn't previously have.
Right.
So we got all those items and are ready to now install that. So, but in the process of doing that, we want to take out the other holes that we no longer are going to use.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because we like it.
Yeah.
It'll look nice at the end too.
So I think what we'll do is while the fiberglass is drying, we can also lift the oven out. Because we're going to have to lift that out to get to the pigtail that connects to the oven from the feed line.
Yeah.
Propane feed line.
And we got a new, what is that, safety thing? What are those things? The dial box that's a safety.
Oh, yeah.
What is that called? Valve shut off?
A propane remote solenoid switch and sniffer system.
Sniffer. It's the sniffer. So that's what we're working on today. We feel ready. We've even got our treats for the end of the day. I brought some nice cold Bud Lights to crack at the end of the day.
BYOL and BYOB.
Yes. I'm excited to just work hard.
Finally.
Yeah, it's going to be really hot today, so we're going to have to reapply sunscreen multiple times. It's going to be one of those days.
Safety first.
Safety first. But yeah.
What we didn't find is a respirator mask.
Due to COVID.
Yeah, they're all out.
No one has any anymore. So
It's been a year, people.
yes, but some things come back in stock slower than others. Like we got some N95s, which would,
Yeah, that helps for the dust.
Yeah.
Fiberglass.
So I mean, we can at least, protect ourselves from that, and we'll just have to be really careful when painting over the fiberglass work. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be good. We'll just have to be careful. But other than that, I think that's what we got going on.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got a bunch done on the cushions last night too.
Yeah, the ozone machine is really working well.
Oh, killer!
It is so good.
And our car didn't stink before, but it definitely smells extra fresh.
Yeah, it had a little funk.
Oh, I didn't notice the funk, but
now it smells good. And the cushions are really coming out really nice.
yeah, they're
The
really
covers have cleaned up really nice.
Yep, so we've got the beds set. So both of the berths we're reusing those covers because they're in great shape. And they cleaned up real nice. So we're going to reuse those. And then I'm on making our settee the way we want it.
Yeah, and whoever comes and visits us and stays in the quarter berth, you're going to be really comfortable.
Yeah.
It's a nice mattress back there.
It's like actual springs and then,
Foam
and oh
yeah,
my god,
it's really comfy.
It's legit. It's legit. Thank you, Larry
And Maxine.
and Maxine.
It
You
looks like
guys
it was a
killed
custom made.
Mhm.
Because the way they did it, it looks like custom.
Mhm. I think that must have been where they slept because it's super comfy.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, we'll probably be in the V berth though.
I think I like the V berth because there's a little more air. It's a little more open.
Mm-hmm. And I get claustrophobic easy, especially at night. So I think I'll want to just sleep I mean, unless we're under passage, then we might sleep back there. But we'll see. We'll see where the most comfortable place is, so under passage. But yeah, so that's our day.
Yeah.
It's been a successful weekend.
So far. We haven't really done anything
We've
for
done
it to be successful.
Yes, we have. All of the cushions don't stink anymore.
Okay, but we didn't actually be successful with our original plan.
Yeah. Well, that was.
But today is the day.
Today is the day.
Today is the day. If we don't do fiberglassing today, we're selling the boat. Like it's not for us.
We're not selling the boat. It's not happening. I don't want to hear that. We got many fun years on this girl before we're selling her.
Saga of the propane locker continues. We're gonna fill 3 holes there, a hole there, those holes. Oh, what's that? Gotta do that one. And then there's some cracking along where it meets the rear of the transom. We're gonna fill that in too. Yeah, it should be okay though. Not too bad. You're at the boat early on a Saturday, because it's gonna be hot. Forecast hottest day ever. 114 degrees today, 114 tomorrow. Yeah. But got a nice surprise. We were supposed to splash this week. As you see, we're still on the hard, and we were supposed to splash this week. I'm gonna be this past week. Today's Saturday. Then it was gonna be Monday or Tuesday next week, something like that. But that's not gonna happen. So this is why we're not splashing next week. The strut is gone. Well, not gone. I mean, they took it off to fix. Oh man, what is that? Huh. And then there's no rudder or no prop shaft. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with. Not gonna splash next week, absolutely not, unless they pull off a miracle, but I don't think so.
So we took that opportunity to give that base of the mast a really good scrubbing and scraping in preparation for the mast to go back in.
Just coming up on 9:35. It's hot. I don't think I can be out here much longer. The mast is upright and she's floating. What more could we ask for? It's so much cooler down here too, babe. I forgot how cool she was in the water. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode.